What's up, everybody? Welcome back to my channel, or if you're new here, welcome to my channel. This is a recap, a long overdue recap of the previous week's episode of Teen Mom 2. Not the 4th of July week, but the one before, the last week of June. This episode kicks off with Roxanne interrogating Briana about her relationship with Javi and whether or not she feels that it's ready for marriage. She actually breaks the news to Briana that Javi's going to propose to her and that he asked for her blessing, which I thought was, quite out of line. I wouldn't really be happy with my mom spoiling a surprise like that for me. But it's pretty classic Roxanne. There's no boundaries in this family whatsoever. And it was just a really uncomfortable scene to watch. So let's move on over to Chelsea's world, where she takes multiple pregnancy tests a day. This is what having no job does for you. And doesn't wait 3 months to reveal the news of her pregnancy to everyone, the producers and the kids as well. I don't like when people do this because it makes me really anxious for them. When you tell people too soon, before you're past the massive red zone where it's super common for people to suffer miscarriages, you put so much pressure on yourself to pass that mark. And if you don't, it's so hard to go back and tell people that you didn't. This especially bothers me because I knew a girl who told me at the 1 month mark. And so the next time I saw her, I was like, oh, how's your pregnancy doing? Are you feeling this, that, and the other? And she had lost the baby. And I felt so bad for even asking her. And then thinking about the amount of people that she told and would have to answer the same question over and over to just because she couldn't wait until the 3 month mark makes me really sad, for people like this. It makes me anxious. Anyway, back in Jenelle's world, this is the scene where a cop knocks on her door. I did a video specifically on it, and he says he's there for a welfare check on the kids, but Jenelle wouldn't answer the door. She was freaking out until David answered it. David was like, nope, go, if you want to see the kids, go to the daycare, slams the door, and then that's when Jenelle starts to pipe up, go to the daycare, go to CVS. Well, where was all this energy before David came and already closed the door? You're talking to a closed door, Jenelle, and she just sits there in her counter with all of the pills in the background. And of course, her caveman-ass husband takes it as another opportunity to talk about wanting to beat Nathan's face in. This guy is so gross. Violence is the answer to everything for him. And it just goes to show, why people are so scared for Kaiser and Jace in his presence. Over in Dover, Kail is talking to her friends and claiming to stay away from fuckboys in 2018. But here she is, 6 months into 2018, standing outside of Chris's door with an empty cup begging for his sperm. Now, back in West Virginia, Jeremy is still asking Leah out, and she says no because she's scared of their relationship being as toxic as she was the last time. I'm wondering what she's talking about here because from what we saw, she was quite toxic in that relationship and that she was spending him into the ground, and that's not easy to do when he makes so much money and she makes so much money as well. Presumably it was on drugs and she was not taking care of the children properly. Is she trying to say that the stress of his work is what caused that for her? I don't know exactly what it was, but I was really curious about what she meant. Jeremy, yes, is a complete asshole, but I don't know. I'm surprised. Leah seems like the type to just want to be in a relationship and want to keep a family together to do it. And isn't she the one who cheated on him too? Anyway. Now in Florida, Papi FaceTimes his alleged girlfriend Briana to let her know the good news, which is that he's not going to be deploying anymore. But she seemed absolutely disappointed. They make a little bit of small talk, the amount that you would if you were supposed to pretend to be in a relationship with your brother. And as she's about to hang up on him, Javi's like, okay, love you. She's like, ooh. Hangs up the phone really quickly it was the plague about to jump through the damn screen. Back in the land before time, the police is still standing outside of Jenelle's property just staring at them, and Jenelle's frustrated by all of it. So she opens the door. She's like, you could leave now. We're always getting the cops called on us, whether it's by my ex or by people who watch this television show. CPS has been here so many times. Each time they close the cases, we're fine. Everything's fine. And just like that, the cop leaves. I was like, you're really standing out there just to get that out of her? Really? That was weird. And so upon hearing Jenelle talking to the police all calmly, David comes and he's like, babe, what the hell you doing talking to the police? You know you're not supposed to talk to the police. He's going to go back, tell his people something. They're going to go tell their wife something else. And it's going to be all over the blogs. Don't talk to the police. And Janelle's like, well, look, it worked. He's gone. This is fine. And David just kept badgering her about it. And like clockwork, he also talks about how he wants to beat up Nathan. And Janelle's like, maybe this wasn't even Nathan. This has been happening since before him. People who watch the show call the cops and CPS on me all the time. He's like, so what? Still gonna beat up Nathan? This guy just always wants to fight. It's amazing. Okay, now here's some real tea, you guys. It turns out Joe sought 50-50 custody of Isaac, and Kail was actually willing to give it to him if he agreed to drive Isaac to more extracurricular activities. He is such a weird sap when it comes to Kail. It's almost like he's being flirty. Like, he tries to hug her in the parking lot, and she's like, oh, a hug? He's like, yeah, I've been always trying to hug you, but you never want to accept hugs. Sometimes I just need to be hugged. I wish the F-U-C-K, my man said that to his baby mama. If he had no, my man doesn't have a baby mama, but I wish the F he would. Like, that is so, ugh. Just be civil with this broad and keep it moving. She's not a happy girl. Don't try too much. The happier you are, the more miserable she'll try to make you. Just accept what you got out of your court date, Joe, and keep it moving. It's so funny how, as they're talking about this new custody situation that they're like, working out, Kail's like, I'm fine with it, Joe. Like, I'm perfectly fine with it. Joe's like, well, I wanted to keep this out of court the whole time, but remember, you didn't even want to hear about it. You didn't want to have a conversation. Well, she's like, well, I was pregnant at the time. My hormones were all over the place. No, Kail has always been that way when it comes to 50-50 custody of any of her kids. Remember, like, she didn't even want Joe having the kid for more than, 2 weekends a month or something like that. So it was good that he brought her ass on over to court, but I just hate how, she was playing brand new. Like, it's not hormones that made you crazy. It's you just being a selfish person when it comes to your kids that made you crazy about this whole situation. Briana returns back home to Florida from her trip to Delaware with Javi and explains him giving her a ring without a proper proposal to her sister Brittany, and she tells her that she gave the ring back to him. She talks about telling him to slow down because they've only been dating a couple of months, and she really emphasized this whole slowing down, wanting to take the relationship slowly thing. Like, she didn't just have a kid by a guy she met at a nightclub within 30 days or less, right? Like, it's, oh, now you know what slowing down means, huh? Now you know? I don't have too many notes on Leah, but I have to say I really loved her storyline in this episode, with the kids, teaching them about responsibility of pets, getting them fixed, pregnancy, what happens with all of that stuff. So they rescued a dog, and then the dog turns out it was pregnant with multiple puppies, and she wanted to be really careful about who she would give the puppies out to. And so one of the people that was picking up a dog from them comes over to the truck, and it was so cute. Addie's like, Mommy, can we ask them to send me pictures of the dog? It was so cute. I've said this once before. I think Leah should be a kindergarten teacher. She speaks to kids really well, and she obviously loves kids as well. So why not? It's too bad that you have to be able to go to teachers college and stuff like that, because otherwise Leah would be a total shoo-in. Now let's talk about Chelsea again, y'all. Her family left the house twice this episode, and it really made me realize that in all these years that we've been watching her, she doesn't really go anywhere. She's always usually just cooped up in her living room, or occasionally she'll step outside to her backyard, but she's usually just in her house. So her leaving it twice in one episode, mind-blowing for me. They had a really panicky day where they forgot Watson's blanket for the car. Cole had to get back in and get it. She was a little bit snippy with him over it, which is understandable. And then when they were super close to the school, they realized Aubrey forgot her book bag as well. I think her flow of doing things with the kids, because apparently she normally does this alone with them, is that Cole was there, and he was supposed to take on some of these things, and Cole was not able to. So I'm like, I can understand when a slight alteration to the way you normally do things completely makes you incompetent at them for a day, and you're so frustrated because you could do it so well yourself, and here you are letting someone else help you, and it's just gone to shit. Back in Florida again, Roxanne and Briana sit down for a pretty contentious dinner where Roxanne is really laying it out against Javi right now. She's like, I feel really duped by him. The only reason he got my blessings to ask for your hand in marriage is because he told me he was going to be deploying. And now here we find out the man isn't even going to be deploying. Was that ever real? What's going on? And she's really upset and expressive about it. And Briana, from the very beginning, is just not having it with her mom whatsoever. She just didn't want to hear anything. She's like, Mom, stop. You're doing the most. You're too dramatic. Stop it. And then as usual, Roxanne just continues pushing on those boundaries, and she goes, he is tacky for doing this. He's awful for trying to rush me into letting you marry him, all of that. Girl, he wants you to pack up and go to Delaware. His dick's not big enough for all that. Ew. What kind of a mother talks like that to her dog? What? ew, I'm disgusted. And so Brie like really snapped. She's like, Mom, why do you do that? Why are you so extra? Like, what the F? And so Roxanne like fake cries and leaves. I think she was hoping for Briana to be chasing her, but Briana's got like a little infant to be feeding. She does not have time for your theatrics, ma'am. And that's kind of like just how the scene ends between the two of them. Now, in the final scene of the episode, we see David's awful anti-trans statements play out in the aftermath of Jenelle refusing to film because MTV fired him. Arch nemesis Kristen goes over to Barbara's house to bother her and ask about what went down with David. And Barbara talks about like how out of touch these people are. She's like remember when the whole thing went down, that awful Florida massacre with the kids in school went down, they were dumb enough to post a photo of Jenelle with like a massive gun and David being like, Happy Valentine's Day. Like, let's give them the benefit of the doubt on that, because they don't watch the news. So maybe they didn't know about the thing with the kids going down. I'm not giving them the benefit of the doubt, because you don't have to watch the news to know what's going on in the world. A lot of people don't even watch the news. It's all over the internet. It's on the Twitter that she's glued to. It's on the Facebook that she's glued to. I do not believe that Jenelle did not know. If you're on the internet, you know. She says she completely doesn't blame them for putting up that image at that time. Like, it was ill-timed and everything like that, but like, they're ignorant. They didn't know. And she's like, what they should have just done, though, is apologize instead of going all homophobic and transphobic on people. Why would they do that? Like, it was totally uncalled for. And then she claims that Jenelle does not have the same views, which it has to absolutely be a lie, because Jenelle has been clocked for saying some pretty racist, homophobic, fatphobic, like all kinds of phobic stuff for years now. Like, there's no way in hell Jenelle is this angel who just so happened to marry someone who's like the complete antithesis of everything her holiness stands for. No, 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 we are not buying it. And then this is what we saw in the last episode. Barbara calls David a POS, which we see now Jace repeats in the episode that follows this one. Funny how that works, and I see MTV absolutely made sure to include that in this episode. I'm sure Barbara's called him that like on multiple occasions in the past, but they just wanted to keep that at the top of mind for when they were going to show Jace using it in the next episode as well. I see you, we see each other, MTV. Now, let's talk about something, you guys. This entire episode featured Jenelle with none of her kids. Why is it? And especially, let's talk about this especially. We did not see Jenelle with her newborn daughter. Briana and Chelsea have kids that are, and Kale too, they all have newborn kids, and they're all always with their kids except Jenelle. This is at least the third episode, probably like the fifth or sixth or fourth or something, that we don't see her newborn daughter. Like, where is this newborn always? Like, I just don't understand it. Like, it's crazy how little time she spends with her newest child. Guys, what did you think about this episode of Teen Mom 2? Leave all of your thoughts and opinions in the comment section down below. And as usual, we'll chat. You can also like this video, subscribe for more. Feel free to share it with your friends as well. And follow me across social media, where I absolutely love chatting with you. That's all for now. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.